everyone, to the Apple One-to-One podcast. We are back here for another great episode today. That's right. If you have not been on our YouTube channel, then what the hell are you listening to the podcast for? You should be going on to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube. It's at Apple One-to-One. You can also follow us on our social media on Twitter and Facebook. We are always publishing our episodes up there, but YouTube, my God, we keep climbing the ladder. We're just slowly climbing the ladder. We're probably like on the third floor of the Empire State Building. We're getting that close to the top of the mountain. It's going to take us quite a while, but we'll get to it. But I am not here alone. But before we get started, I'm Will TLD, the former Apple Specialist Creative and Genius and the owner of WV Productions. If you need to get married and you need that special video, definitely give me a call. Or you can just go to my website
to get married.
Yeah, so, or if you're getting divorced and you want that on recorded, you can let me know as well. But along with me every week is the former Apple creative, retired book publisher, the Soccer Mom recorder, the Jurassic Park owner, Black Coffee draper, juror number 12, the retirement home president, Mr. Keto Trout drummer, Mr. Frank Funk's here.
Hey, how you doing, man? Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. I'm finally free of COVID. The last time we were on our podcast, I was full of COVID. It's fully gone now. Finally fully recovered. Got my Zevia, of course, for every episode. Not sponsored, of course.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. This guy right here is trying to buy a Cadillac for whatever reason, even though my son, who needs the money to grow and learn in this world, but no, he doesn't want to give it to his own grandson. He just wants to spend it on himself. That's
not a Cadillac. I was looking at the BMW 4 Series convertible. Don't know
Everyone,
if I want to buy or lease.
Yeah, just repeat. And how much is that going to cost, Frank? In a range?
Around 62.
This guy clearly has nothing to do with his retirement account, ladies and gentlemen. And obviously his investment in Apple has paid off very well for himself.
Apple stock is up. So
well, good. So, all right. Well, that's the reason why, because the Apple stock went up like 2 points. Yeah. He's like, all right, I'm buying myself a Cadillac BMW convertible with 8 doors, whatever he wants to buy. So today we're going to talk about YouTube TV. Now, the reason why we thought about this as a good topic is, number one, we have both been using YouTube TV for about 2 years now. And since that change, I could personally tell you I have had a terrific experience with it. So has Frank. So we're going to dive into right now the YouTube experience, a little bit about pricing, the channels, and maybe things we will and would like. Plus, the big announcement that was made last year that Sunday Ticket is coming to YouTube TV. So, Frank, let's dive right into YouTube TV. So, first off, why did you change from what your service was to YouTube TV?
Well, because I was with a cable company. It doesn't really matter which.
You can say who it is.
But
no, say it. I'm saying mine.
I was
AT&T.
With it wasn't with AT&T. Fios, Verizon.
Gotcha.
And my cable bill was just shy of $225 a month. And I was like, it's just ridiculous. It was just too much.
How much would you say you were paying? What would you say around the cost?
$225 a month. Yeah. Was watching the same things over and over again. So it was like, when we looked at YouTube TV, I thought, well, you know what? I'll try it. Plus, it's streaming, so I don't have any cables throughout the house. So I switched over. I still use Fios for my router.
How much would you say the bill went down, though?
Oh, I'm paying $70 a month.
So you went from from $220, you went down to $60 plus YouTube TV, which that costs $65.
65, yeah.
You still like that's a tremendous amount of savings. Yep. When it comes to me, savings. I had DirecTV for quite a few years. When I moved into my house, I got DirecTV because they offered me a deal. It was like $25 a month or something. It was like really, really cheap. And then when the price went up, I argued that it went down to like $70. The next year, it went back up again. They actually, I think it was an accident, but they really charged me like $25 a month. So it was a really good savings. Then it went up to like $50, like about 50, 60. I was like, okay, I think they made a mistake on the 25 personally.
Right,
And
right.
then it finally went up to like 120, and I don't use enough channels for me to keep it. And I
Exactly.
said to him, I said,
Exactly.
well, here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Sling. I'm looking at YouTube TV. Even DirecTV's own online streaming service is by itself. And I was like, why would I pay for satellite? And I tried to get the price to be the same so I could stick with it, but they said no. So out of all the choices that I found, I went to YouTube TV over Sling and other thing because the main thing I think I liked about it was the unlimited DVR. That to me was probably the selling point.
Yeah, we use that a little bit, not as much as we thought we would, but we subscribe to. Well, I'm an Apple Premium, so I get Apple TV with that.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the British stuff, so I subscribe to BritBox right now, and that's like $8 a month. It's ridiculously cheap. So we have Hulu, we have we share Hulu, and we share Prime. So I think that's the only one. Prime. We pretty much have that all covered through streaming.
Yeah, I have pretty similar things. I don't have Hulu. I definitely don't have the British thing. I have Peacock because I'm a big wrestling fan, so I like to watch my wrestling. Beyond that, and I have Prime, which I don't really look at very often. But let's talk about YouTube TV a little bit about. We're going to break down a couple things about YouTube TV. YouTube TV right now is free if you want to try it out for a little time. And then as of right now, they always offer some kind of limited offer. As of today of this taping, they're offering $54.99 a month for the first 3 months, and then it's $64.99, which I might add, they have not changed that price since I've been a part of it, if I'm correct.
Right. Yeah.
The other thing,
it's been that for a long time.
Now, the other thing I thought was great. Do you recall about maybe a couple months ago where a channel was not going to be available because they were in a financial dispute? And what they did is they actually knocked down the price because of that change. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
I was so surprised because I do not remember a cable provider ever doing that.
Yeah.
That was just another added bonus to what I liked about it. But for 3 months to give it a try for $54.99 a month, which is, I think, very cheap to start with, is really great. Then I wanted to talk about the channels. So you get over 100 channels. So you get your real basic channels of ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, ESPN. You can see them all here. And then what you want to do is put in your zip code and you want to see what is available. So in my area of Jackson, this is the channels I get, and they break it down based on local channels, sports channels. So I think they make it very easy to navigate and see what channels you definitely get. I didn't even know I get YouTube originals. I never really even thought that. But
and you could select any of those, and they'll go under your what do they call it? Your library. And they'll come up kind of like as your preferences.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how to set those right now. We are going to be showing the interface of the web version of the Apple TV. So right on the very top, what they do is they put the top picks for you that you watch, which pretty much all of these are right. I mean, right now, wrestling's on, so that would be the thing I'd be watching right now. People's Court, because my son loves to put his arm up like this. But as you can see, all the things that I like are really up here at the top level that I really record all the time. Then you have breaking down of what type it is. Like if you're looking for just movies, these are movies that you could just pick for me that they know I like. They have horror, they have history. So they really give it, I think to me, it's like very easy to navigate around the interface. And even though we're only showing the version on the web, it's pretty similar to what it is on the phone, on the Apple TV, which the Apple TV is just great as well. They are celebrating certain things, and then they have my certain shows that I like to watch. So you can see what my interests are. What I like about this too is that they do a real good job. I mean, would you say it does a pretty good job picking the things that you like, Frank?
Oh, yeah. Yep. They'll give you suggestions. And then when you go back, you can say, it'll say, do you want to continue watching this or resume watching? Yeah. They do a real nice job with that. I like to watch a lot of documentaries just because I'm, I don't know, just because I like to.
Yeah, I'm going to just open up one TV show real quick just so you can see a little bit of the interface without playing the show. But basically, you're going to see the show here. You have your controls here on the bottom, and then on the right you have the sound closed captioning, settings. Now, one thing that this has that I wish they would start bringing to the phone and the Apple TV is the speed. Because I love the idea. Sometimes I like watching a show at 1.25. I can retain information enough for me to do that. So I really like the idea of having the speed controls like they do on YouTube here. You never knew about that, did you?
Nope.
Okay, so you learn something new every day. You have audio tracks, and then you have quality. You could numb down the quality if you don't need to have the highest one. But I would say the quality is. I would say it's very tremendous. Do you pay for the 4K, Frank? That is a separate option.
No.
Yeah, I don't pay for the 4K as well. So just to leave the interface real quickly, let's go back to home. And then on the left side, so we only have three icons here at the top: library, home, and live. And library is what's new in your library, what you mostly watch, scheduled recordings. You have recordings and purchases, or if there was purchase content, which right now I don't have. But there is all these different things I have recorded here. And I can just click on one. It gives me the ones that are here in the recording, and you can play the episode. Sometimes they have the VOD on them, which means video on demand, and you'll have to probably sit through a couple ads, but some of them, if they don't have that, then you just watch it the whole way through, which is great on there.
Yep. And then if you go to live, that looks very similar to like any other subscriber. It shows you your network on the left-hand side, the snippet of the show, and you have the timeline of where you are and what's coming up next. Yep. So that's very similar to any TV menu.
And by the way, the organization of this all depends on over here where you sort it. You could do a default setting. You could do a custom, like if you want to hide something, maybe you don't want to see the most watched. I personally do A to Z. What do you do, Frank? Do you just do default or?
I like to do the most watched.
Okay.
Because pretty much that's where we want to go. But it does show you all of those channels that you've selected in the prior screen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice.
I personally like A to Z just to make it a little easier to organize myself. But of course, you could just do a search and you could just look up the channel as well. So if you're looking for something particular, so I'm just going to go with Impractical Jokers. It'll start bringing up all the different Impractical Jokers here. Very easy to search. If you're looking just for the network, ABC, you could do that. All the different ABC networks. So they organize it based on what they are. So really, really easy to get, I think, to navigate. A lot of times Google, we kind of pick on Google a little bit. Sometimes we don't really like their practice, but I got to be honest. I think they've done a terrific job with this. I really think they've hit a home run. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the NFL Sunday Ticket. Now, we know that the advertising on the Super Bowl was all over the place with this, but coming in the fall, they announced that NFL Sunday Ticket is coming to YouTube. Now, we did something on this channel talking about we thought maybe Apple would win the rights, but they didn't.
Yep.
And Apple was fighting for it, but I think the biggest problem was that Apple probably didn't want to charge people $60, $70 for this ticket, and I don't think that was an option on the table.
Yeah, YouTube TV paid $2.5 million
a year
for a 7-year deal.
A billion, you mean?
2.5 billion. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, did I say million? I'm sorry.
You said million.
Billion.
I was like, well, that's a great deal.
Yeah. No. And so the rumor is it's going to be about $300 a year on top of your, if you go for your $65 a month. So it's going to, if you break it out, the NFL season is roughly from September to 1 week in February. You're talking roughly 5 months at $300 a year. That's $60 additional a month. So it would cost you $125 a month.
Oh, now I'm going to guarantee they are going to give us a deal to help us get this a lot quicker when it pops up. The pricing is not really out there. How did you find that anyway, Frank?
It's just a Google search.
Because in their FAQs, I'm not going to lie, they really just don't talk about that,
Yeah.
Now, by the way, NFL Red Zone comes anyway with it. And you can also buy NFL Sunday Ticket as a standalone. You do not need to be an Apple TV, I'm sorry, a YouTube TV subscriber to get this. No satellite dish, which of course was the big thing. You had to get DirecTV. And NFL is actually the one that would not renew with them. It wasn't really like they weren't even in the negotiation, which was a big deal. I mean, 20 years they were with DirecTV. And because DirecTV, I hate to say it, is just falling so far behind everything, they just let that slip away. And based on my experience...
Well, they sold it, or they're AT&T's trying to sell it, right?
Well, that's a whole other story regarding DirecTV. Let's just say AT&T bought DirecTV, and they basically created a dumpster fire with it. And hopefully DirecTV gets back on their feet. But honestly, right now, the way things are going, the fact that I have an Apple TV box, the fact that I have 2 HomePods wirelessly connected to it, and it sounds great, right now I have absolutely no intention to switch, not to mention how fast it is as far as connecting to it and running up.
Yeah. Well, one thing I didn't know was I thought that the red zone go down a little bit, or go back up to where, go back up to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right there. I didn't realize that the red zone was an additional. So maybe it'll be like the NFL package, and then if you want the red zone, that'll cost you even more. Now, I saw that at a friend's house, and I thought that was pretty interesting, because they would split the screen. Any game that was about to score, they would take you right to that game. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm looking forward to what YouTube TV does with this. By the way, if you are just to go, there are additional options, by the way. I'm just going to use our Apple One-to-One account here so you could pick the plans here. There's actually a Spanish plan, which if you have some Spanish stations here, but you can pick the base plan, which you'll obviously pick. And then they do have additional items that you can add. So they have 4K plus, so you can add 4K quality to it. I've seen the 4K on my television. It's not a big difference, but you can definitely see it. And you can also choose other things, like they have Showtime, Stars, you could do, and they're giving you deals. Some of them give you deals. So there's different options that you could do. MGM Plus, Stars and MGM, Fox Nation, so there's definitely a lot of things. Shutter's on here, interesting. So there's definitely different channels that you could subscribe to. I personally don't do the 4K. If you have a 4K TV, then maybe you'll go for it. But to be honest, I don't see the value in it. Not for that much money. Not for $20 a month. So.
The only problem I see, not a problem, but for me anyway, so many options. If you say, oh, yeah, I want to get HBO Max, I want to get Spanish Plus, I mean, you're talking, that's $30 more. Now you're up to $90 just for those 2 options. If you want to go to the NBA League Pass, you can spend a truckload of money on TV. And for me, the basic package is more than enough.
Yeah, like I said, look how much that is. Look at the NBA package compared to $300 that's going to be probably for the Sunday Ticket. Big difference in price. That just shows you how many people love their football.
Yep. Well, do they have something there with soccer? I'm sure they do.
I don't think I saw a soccer plan on here. They have Sports Plus. That will include, they have Poker to Go. They have NFL Red Zone, which would be in there for $10.99. So if you're a sports fan.
Soccer Plus.
Now, there are some channels that you don't get, which someone pointed out to me. If you're a really big New York fan, especially, you don't get the Yes Network. You don't get MSG. And one channel that I wish we had was A&E. And that channel is not there. So is there any other channels you could think of, Frank, that are not there you really would want?
No.
But those are the two. Those are the three I thought of.
To me, this is like a going to a diner with a 50-page menu. There's way too much stuff.
Yeah, they have Fox Soccer Plus would be a part of the sports package.
Yeah.
Frank, is there anything that you don't like about YouTube TV? Is there anything like you say, well, this should be improved?
I can't say that YouTube TV. Once in a while, I'll have to back up a little bit for it to catch up, like it's buffering a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, probably my router. But as far as the TV setup and everything, no, it's more than sufficient for my needs.
Like I said, I think they need to get some more sports channel options, even if you have to pay extra for them. Like, I think a lot of people are going to leave DirecTV and go to YouTube TV. People really want their football. And when something like that, as big as this, is moving over to a whole other platform, I think a lot of people are going to follow.
Yeah.
And that
the only thing that I'm canceling one subscription and picking up Paramount Plus because we got into Yellowstone
of course.
For free, and that's only on Paramount Plus. So I'm kind of I'm thinking of trying to see if I want to pick that up, but I don't want to add it on top of everything else. I want to see, I may cancel BritBox, or I may cancel Disney Plus.
Yeah, they do have like the first 5 seasons here. So yeah. I don't know if what season are they on right now?
Well, upcoming, hopefully 6, but they also have the offshoots, the 1923 and 1863. Right. Those are really good. The whole thing. And then rumor has it that Kevin Costner's leaving the series.
Yeah, they have season 1 here of 1923 here.
Yeah, that just started. Yeah.
Yeah, so why would you want to get Paramount Plus if the things you're talking about are all here?
Well, I'd have to get it through there. Well,
this is on the Paramount Network. We have this on YouTube TV.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Are you okay, Frank? I was like, everything's here that you're asking for. So I don't know why you're going to buy Paramount Plus.
Well, I thought it was there, but then you had to subscribe to it.
No, because the Paramount Network is what Spike TV was. If they could add A&E, which I think is probably the biggest channel that they're missing on here, and maybe get ES and get MSG Network on here, so you get some more of the New York stations, or unless you have to buy, unless there's a hockey package or anything, you might have to do it separately. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I honestly think YouTube TV is the best one out there. I did look at Sling and other ones out there, but the big thing with Sling was that, there were 2 different packages. The one thing that I really wanted was in the other one, it wasn't unlimited DVR. You had to pay if you wanted that, but you did get up to 100, a certain amount of hours to keep. But I was definitely a fan of the unlimited, and honestly, the more I've used it, the interface has just been tremendous.
Yeah, I mean it's very slick, very nice. I think I'm happy with it.
Yeah, me too. I definitely think you got to give it a try. If you have not cut the cable yet, I would strongly recommend doing it. Do not give your cable company more and more stuff to have. Let's get them out of here. So I want to thank you guys very much for joining us here today. We really do appreciate it. Definitely give us a review. Please leave us a like here. We really do appreciate you guys joining us for this channel. And I love every single one of you.
Have a good one.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel at Apple1to1 and make sure you like and subscribe. We will see you there for our training videos.